Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play the game that is chess. Okay, it's just going to be the very basics, very simple stuff. And to showcase this, I'm going to be playing against the easiest spot on chess.com, which is Martin. He's under beginner. Martin, as you can see, 250 rated. So if you're starting off, I would recommend playing him. The bot gives up a lot of pieces and he's very forgiving. Okay, so when you're playing chess, you could be faced with this big board with pieces. Might look complicated, but it's quite simple actually once you get into it. So, white always moves first. As you can see, there are 8 of these pawns. Pawns move forward once, and they capture diagonally. On the first move, they can move twice, as you can see. And so, that's what I will play. This is the most common opening, e4, e5. Look, as Martin says, the classic king's pawn opening. Okay, now that I've played the first move, I can move 2 of these pieces. This one is the bishop. It is worth 3 points, so the same as the knight, and the other bishop as well. These are all worth 3 points, they're all worth the same. This bishop can move diagonally as far as the eye can see. It can't move you through anything, but it does have unlimited range. So, this is quite a classic opening. I'm moving the bishop to c4. Okay, Martin has just moved his knight, and knights are extremely complicated. As you can see by the little circles, this is where they can move. They move 2 squares one way, and then 1 left to 1 right. 2 squares, 1 right, 1 left, if there was a square there. And so, quite normally, the knights go here. F3 and C3. Okay, so that move threatens my bishop and my pawn, because pawns move forward, but they take diagonally. So, you need to think about this. How many attackers does the pawn have versus defenders? I have got 1, 2 pieces that can attack it. He's got 1 that can defend it. So that means I can take this. Okay, he's just moved his bishop here, defending that pawn. Here, I will be moving my pawn 1 square, and this will open up this bishop on this diagonal. So yeah, when you are starting off, I recommend playing these easier bots. They're quite easy, especially Martin, he's pretty stupid. Okay, he's moved his knight forward, and then it can now see this pawn, and that square, there, and there. Here, I will be attacking it with this pawn, as he can't move it there. All of these places are defended. So, and then let's pawn go that way. He will have to go back. Now I'm going to be executing a very common tactic in the opening. It's called a pin. This is when you pin a, let me just go back, sorry, lower value piece to a bigger piece. So he did blunder that. Usually he wouldn't be able to move this now because I would take the bigger piece behind it. So you can see, and a very common tactic with pin pieces is you can put pressure on them and then you can win material. So if I had a knight here, I can move it here, and then look, 2 attackers, and then even though it has 2 defenders, it is pinned. So he would be forced to double up on his pawns. But yes, as his knight has moved from the pin, I can take the bounty hidden beneath. And now what I have taken is the queen. It is the most valuable piece on the board. It is worth 9 points. So that's equal. Well, not really equal. But rook is 5 and this is 3. So 3 pieces or a piece of the board. Almost. It's not exact because it depends on the position. But yeah. He's moved his knight. So I will move my bishop because it can be taken by his king. And the king is, he's called a king, but he ain't really that good, you know. He can only move one square anywhere. Yep. And he can also be checked. So for instance, if I played this, I would have to block it, or take the bishop, or move the king. As the goal in chess is to checkmate the king, which means delivering a check that can't be stopped. So it can't be blocked, captured, or stopped by moving the king. Okay, here he is moving the knight. He can take that, and that is checked, which isn't that good. But so I will simply castle. Now castling is 2 moves in one. You move your king there, and then your rook there, and this can only be done if you haven't moved any of those pieces. And it's the same for the other side, it's just the rook moves one square extra, so your king will go there, your rook would go there. But yeah, he's played bishop there, which doesn't attack anything, so you can just kick it out. Attacking the bishop, goes back, then I will save my bishop from being captured, as it has no defenders that can be captured. Okay, now in chess, a kind of general rule is that when you are up a lot of material, like I am now, you want to trade equal pieces. So these are both worth 3. So it would be a good idea here to trade. Okay, I'm going to develop my knight as it is of more use here than here. Okay, he's moved a piece backwards, which again generally isn't a good idea, but it can be. So, I'm not saying never move anything backwards, but just think, try and think. Yeah, pawns. Okay. Yes, when you are starting out, you probably won't know many openings, so it's not the end of the world. You just need to know where your pieces can go and what can happen. So here, this pawn isn't defended, so I'll just take it. Okay. He's moved that bishop. It now covers these squares, hits that pawn, but that pawn is defended. So it's not a threat. Okay. I'm going to move my knight, and this threatens another common tactic that can win games. It is called a fork. As you can see, it is a check, and it's the knight as well. So when the king moves, I take the higher value piece that is the rook. And then even if he takes back, that was a good trade as knight is worth 3, rook's worth 5. Okay, he castles. I've got 2 attackers to 1 defender. So I will simply just take. Okay, I will take the queen. Okay, now that is a bad trade. As a pawn worth 1, bishop is worth 3, and I can simply take back. Okay. Really play just about anything here. Let's get rook into the game. More active here. Okay, that move blunders his rook in 1, as it isn't defended by anything. So I can just take. Yeah, I'm going to use queen. Okay, that rook isn't defended, so I can once again just take. Simple. And then take this. And then we are now into the end game, as the majority of the pieces have been taken off the board, mostly of his side, but still, it's the end game now, and I need to deliver a checkmate to win. So, one way to do this is you kind of corner the king, being careful not to stalemate him. And I will show you what that means. So, okay, I will take that with my knight, and then this opens up my rook. Okay, let's go in here. Let's go rook here. Okay, now stalemating is when the opposition has no legal moves, so they cannot move anything at all. Yeah, so if he had no pawns, and my queen was like here, he wouldn't be able to move his king, he wouldn't be able to move anything else, so it would be a draw. Now you don't want that, trust me. Okay, good, drop it up here. Check there. Pretty soon. So I think pretty much now it's going to be checkmate. And I have now beat Martin. There we go. That is how to play the game of chess. See you guys.